Shalom, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Chachadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and a sincere shalom to all you Archim who pushing this word around the globe in faith and in truth and in sincerity. As always, I'm going to start by saying we are the true Hebrew Israelites, the real Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, and West Africans, so on and so forth. We make up the 12 tribes of Israel, and we are the true descendants of the man in the Bible who was called Israel. And just saying this for clarification, you so-called Negroes are you so-called African Americans. You so-called black people in America, you're truly the Israelites. Many of you are from the tribe of Judah. Now, if you want to learn more about the 12 tribes, just Google GMS 12 tribes sign. But this doesn't just apply to any of the peoples that I mentioned above. This also applies to anyone who may look like any of the other nations. But if this word resonates with you and you believe in your spirit, in faith and in truth and in sincerity, and you believe in the names of Yahweh and Yahushai, then you too might be an Israelite, because this isn't about your skin color, it's about your seed line, because pertaining to Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18, your seed line is determined by the line of your father or your fathers. So I just want to make a quick update on a video I made recently about the convicted paedophile Gary Glitter and his song being used in the Joker film. There's a new article that's come out which is given more information about the royalties situation as to whether or not he'll receive any payment for it. So let's read this. This article is from The Guardian, which is a popular newspaper here in the UK. And it says, Gary Glitter will not receive Joker royalties, say rights holders. And this is published today, Tuesday, 15th of October. Yeah, the date today is Tuesday, 15th, that's right, yeah. So let's read this. It says, Snapper Music and Universal Music Publishing Group say they own the rights to the singer's catalogue and do not pay him. Let's get into this. It says, rights holders for Gary Glitter's catalogue of songs have stated that the disgraced rock star will not receive any royalties from one of his songs being used in the movie Joker. Glitter is serving a 16-year jail term for sexual offences against children. He was jailed for 4 months on child pornography charges in 1999 and for 3 years in Vietnam after being convicted of child sex offences in 2006. His song Rock and Roll Part 2 is used prominently in one scene in The Joker, prompting reports that Gary Glitter could receive a six-figure sum as one of the two credited songwriters. But speaking to the LA Times, the label Snapper Music, which owns Gary Glitter's catalogue, said Gary Glitter does not get paid. We've had no contact with him. In the US, Universal Music Publishing Group said it was not paying royalties to Glitter. Gary Glitter's publishing interest in the copyright of his songs is owned by UMPG and other parties. Therefore, UMPG does not pay him any royalties or other considerations. Joker won the Golden Lion Prize at the Venice Film Festival and has been a critical and commercial hit, earning nearly 550 million worldwide in 2 weeks. Now, this is interesting because, okay, even though Gary Glitter doesn't get any royalties from this song being used in this film, he's still getting credited, because I did see this film, and in the end credits his name is there. And also, by using this guy's music, it's like free publicity, if that makes sense, because music is very spiritual, and if you read in the Bible, music can conjure up demons, or it can take off demons from people. For example, when King David played the harp, it said the evil spirits that were plaguing King Saul departed from him. Let me see if I can find it in the scriptures. Hold on a second, I'm just going to try and find it. Yeah, found it. See, because music is very spiritual, and I mean, all you've got to do is do research on guys such as John Todd, who breaks down, the satanic side of the music industry, where, when your songs get mastered, they take them to witches' covens, and they put spirits on the masters. So whenever those CDs or tapes or records are played, they've got spirits on them, and these spirits can influence the masses. Now, I'm going to get a precept to back up what I'm saying here, and this is going to be regarding King David when he used to play the harp. Yeah, I found it. Alright, so here we go, yeah? I'm going to read from, this is 1 Samuel 16 and 13. Let me bring it up on the screen so you can read along. It's lucky that's not what I want. Gotta get it. It's lucky. Right, so this is 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 13, and it says, Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren, and the Spirit of Yahweh came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah. And but the Spirit of Yahweh departed from Saul. So basically, let me get into this a bit. When King David was anointed, the Spirit of Yahweh departed from King Saul, because at the time King Saul was king. But when the Spirit of Lord came upon King David, the Spirit of Yahweh by Shemir Shai departed from King Saul. So it says, but the Spirit of Yahweh departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from Yahweh troubled him. And Saul's servant said unto him, Behold now, an evil spirit from the Most High troubleth thee. Let now our Lord command thy servants which are before thee to seek out a man who is a cunning player on the harp. And it shall come to pass, when the evil spirit from the Most High is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well. See, so music is very spiritual. You can either, by listening to the right types of music, it can quench evil spirits, or it can even conjure up evil spirits on you. So like when you listen to a lot of what's in the charts these days, for example, you got, the most basic beats by these mumble rappers. These rappers who aren't really saying shit. All they're talking about is negativity, busting heads, killing people, committing adultery. What you'll get is you get a basic drum beat, and it's just looped throughout the whole thing, and you have a very, very basic bass line, and these negative lyrics put over the top, and people will sit there in their cars and listen to it. I hear this all the time. And basically, there's really not very much harmonic content in these types of songs. All it is putting puts these people under demonic vibration, and that music is primarily targeted to Jake. I could get into this stuff deeply. Going all the way back to like the early 1990s, when you had gangs like NWA coming out. All that shit was basically put out there to demonize Jake, because they couldn't get Jake the same way they could get Edomites with say, like, heavy metal, thrash metal and rock music. They couldn't get Jake the same way, so they had to come with a different angle. And the way they've done that is with, obviously things such as gangster rap, so on and so forth. So let's continue in this passage, and it says, in verse 17, And Saul said unto his servants, Provide me now a man that can play well, and bring him to me. Then Saul didn't ask for someone to come in and spit lyrics over a drum beat. He was asking for someone who can play well on a harp, because harmony is powerful. You've got different types of harmony. You can form your major chords, your minor chords, your diminished chords, your seventh chords, your major seventh chords, your suspended fourths, your suspended seconds. I could get into this stuff really deeply, but harmony is a very, very powerful thing. And Esau's a fucking damn devil, because he says that music, I'm going to do a lesson on this, Lord willing, but Esau will say that music was an invention of the Greeks. So, for example, he'd say that Pythagoras came up with the concept of intervals. Now, in music, intervals are the degrees of your scale. So, for example, in a chromatic scale, you play every note sequentially. So, if you're at a piano, you play, let's say you start on G, you go G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, back to G. That's playing all of the notes chromatically, yeah? But then you've got different types of scales which can be made out of that, such as your major scales, your minor scales. You know, there's three types of minor scales. You've got your natural, melodic, and harmonic. Now, I don't want to say too much because I'm going to confuse people here, but the whole point is that Esau lies and says that music was an invention, or the concept of harmony was an invention of the Greeks. And he will say that all music before the Greek Empire was just, you know, tribal music, which was just drums and drum beats and melodies, no harmony, which is a complete lie, because as you can see here in 1 Samuel chapter 16 and 13, King David was a master on a harp. Now the harp is a harmonic instrument. You know, a melodic instrument would be something such as a saxophone. If you've got something such as a single saxophone or a single trumpet, you don't play chords on those instruments. In order to get chords, which you try, you need to have like 3 trumpets or 3 saxophones to make the first, the third, and the fifth, which would make a major triad. You know, so Esau's a damn devil and a liar, and Lord willing, I'll do a more in-depth lesson on that another time. But let's get back to this. It says in 1 Samuel 16 and 17, it says, "And Saul said unto his servants, Provide me now," because as again, King David lived before the Greek Empire, you know, which proves Esau's a liar. So it says, 1 Samuel 16 and 17, "And Saul said unto his servants, Provide me now a man that can play well, and bring him to me. Then answered one of his servants and said, Behold, I have seen the son of Jesse, a Bethlehemite, that is a cunning player, and a mighty valiant man, and a man of war, and imprudent in matters, and a comely person, and Yahweh is with him. Wherefore Saul sent his messengers unto Jesse, and said, Send me David thy son, which is with the sheep. And Jesse took an ass laden with bread and a bottle of wine and a kid, and sent them by David his son unto Saul. And David came to Saul and stood before him, and he loved him greatly, and became his armor bearer. And Saul sent to Jesse, saying, Let David, I pray thee, stand before me, for he hath found favour in my sight. And it came to pass when the evil spirit," now here's the point, 1 Samuel 16 and 23, "And it came to pass when the evil spirit from the Most High was upon Saul, that David took a harp, and he played with his hand. So Saul was refreshed, and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him." So there you go. That's the point I wanted to make about how spirits can either be conjured up and put on people, or taken off of people via the power of music, because music is a very, very spiritual thing. I mean, I can't count the amount of scriptures in the Bible which says, "Sing praises unto the Most High," you know. And even if you look at the book of Psalms, which the majority of the Psalms are written by King David, those are actually songs, you know. And the book of Psalms is the longest book in the whole Bible, you know. So those are all songs unto the Most High. So I've made the point. Don't want to make this lesson too long. Just a little update on that article, the video I made recently, which you know, they said that Gary Glitter would receive the royalties. Now they're doubling back on their word, and they're saying that Glitter won't receive a penny. Now this just might be a case of damage control, because my last video got over 100 views, and I'm not the only person who's done videos on this topic. So them saying that Glitter won't receive any royalties, that could just be damage control, man. You know, to try and not taint or tarnish the film, because at the end of the day, you know, they say the love of money is the root of all evil. And these Hollywood studios, man, they don't make these films for no reason. They make them to make a profit, and also to push agendas. So yeah, this new article that's come out, you know, it could be damage control, it might not be, but the fact of the matter is that it's still giving reverence to a convicted child sex offender and paedophile. So that's that, you know. So I'm going to close this up by saying once again, giving all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahushai Bahashim Chakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and a sincere shalom to all you Archim who are pushing this word around the globe in faith and in truth and in sincerity. And with that, until I'm able to do the next lesson, Lord willing, I say, Shalom.